Starseed, what you are doing here on Earth is the work of a god. My name is Daniel, and in this video I'm going to be sharing a message I received from Spirit during a plant medicine ceremony while on a pilgrimage to Sacred Valley, Peru, and it is all about how strong you are. I found myself on a mountain in the valley in our third and final ceremony with my fellow trip members, where we were encouraged to take some time alone, find a nice spot by ourselves, and just allow what needed to come through to do so. So at this point in my ceremony, I found myself feeling quite low. The medicine was quite strong. I found myself feeling very tranquilized, just nauseous, not feeling well. Dealing with the elements was also very challenging. It's very high altitude, it's hard to breathe. It would be raining at times or very windy. My face would be covered in snot. I was just lying on the ground in the fetal position, just all around not having a good time, to the point where I started thinking, if someone were to observe me, they would probably think, that guy has hit rock bottom, just by the image that was being created by what I looked like in that moment. Someone might think I was just wasted on plant cactus medicine. It really just didn't paint a very good picture, and I was internally feeling very low. I was even being hard on myself for the fact that I could only handle a half a dose of plant medicine, whereas the rest of the people in my group were way more hardcore than I was. Some of them were taking twice the regular dose. It was in this really low point where even I was starting to feel like I was in this kind of rock bottom moment. But then I started to recall the experience I had in my first ceremony, where I had learned that my energetic role in this life as a starseed, in this ascension process, is to be a conduit for higher frequency energies and bring them through into my physical vessel. And in my first ceremony, I had a very powerful activation. It was incredibly intense on top of another mountain in the valley, where for about an hour, I just received some of the highest frequency influx of energy into my body that I was just struggling to even wrangle into my body. As a byproduct of that experience, I got this vision that it's almost as if the visual representation of that is like the superhero Thor in the movie Avengers Infinity War, where to recreate a hammer for himself, he had to hold together a machine while taking a full frontal blast of energy from a dwarf star. And the only way he could survive that is because he is a god. So then back to my third and final ceremony, where I was in this really low point, a message came through. Why can't you see that what you are doing is the work of a god? There is no difference in difficulty in terms of the feats that this superhero character Thor is doing and what I am doing. And then from that moment forward, I began to experience almost like a life review, seeing again all of the challenging things that I've endured in this life. And here's where I'll invite you to see yourself in my own experience here, because what I received here is applicable to all the Starseed volunteers here on Earth at this time. I started hearing that you are a huge consciousness crammed into a tiny, fragile, ultra-sensitive body, and yet you're still able to receive and be continuously blasted by higher frequency energies, and you're still able to stand upright. You shut off all of your emotions at 2 years old just to cope with being in this reality. No one in your life understands you. You have your consciousness blasted to the absolute brink on plant medicines. Many of the long list of hardships since your awakening would have killed most people. You've gone to the deepest levels of darkness imaginable. You embark on pilgrimages to remote, treacherous lands to face and heal yourself, and you do all of these things to be of service to the earth and to humanity. Why can't you see that what you are doing isn't even superhuman? It's godlike. Why can't you see yourself the way we see you? And that's when I sensed that the thoughts that I was getting weren't just my thoughts, that the beings from the higher realms, this is how they see us, and this is how they see me. So naturally, this was a very powerful experience, because I see it from my own lens of this contrast to where I felt anything but strong during my awakening process and during my time here on Earth in general, during this lifetime. And I imagine many of you have felt the same, that we've heard so many times that us volunteers are some of the strongest beings in the cosmos, and yet we don't really feel all that strong, do we? But ironically, that actually shows just exactly how strong we are. For example, we might be thinking, oh, we should be behaving, or we might see ourselves as some of these superhero-like beings, perhaps in the movies, but these superheroes in these movies, they have their DNA fully activated. Their powers are completely online. No one's questioning their abilities. In fact, a lot of the people around them seem to worship them, or they're not like judging or criticizing the fact that they have these amazing abilities. Generally, people look up to them. Whereas us, we've had our DNA turned off. We've had our minds wiped. Nobody understands us. We've hardly had any of the abilities activated that we normally do in our home frequencies. We've been isolated from any like-minded people in order to keep this grid of light maintained. We needed to be separated from each other or physically isolated. We've been criticized by people just for being ourselves. We took on huge amounts of karma that isn't even ours. We're literally mutating into a new species as we speak. We've had our sense of reality completely shattered during our awakening process. We've faced horrendous truths about our world and faced our deepest, darkest shadows from within. And we've done all of this because we are tremendous beings of love who cannot help but want to be of service to others in need. We're in such a limited state here on Earth, and yet we're literally ascending an entire planet. Doesn't that sound like the work of a godlike being? Many intuitives and channelers speak about energies that are currently permeating the world right now as I'm recording this in March of 2025. Shadow work seems to be a common theme of what's being brought to the surface right now. And ironically, what I've been noticing myself over these past couple months is that perhaps my biggest shadows at this time might not be anything we would consider dark or shameful. In reality, as I've been uncovering, my biggest shadows are my own light, my own power. And I imagine it's similar for a lot of you. The things we're still yet unable to see and we have yet to integrate is our own light, our own amazingness. So I hope this message resonated with you and has activated something within you, that because of our limitation and the fact that we're still able to ascend an entire world proves just how powerful we are. So I will leave it at that. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.
I'm the goddess of death. What were you the god of again?
Even when you had two eyes, you'd see only half the picture.
It's too strong. Without my hammer, I can't.
Are you Thor, the god of hammers? That hammer was to help you control your power, to focus it. It's never your source of strength.
It's too late. She's already taken Asgard.
Asgard is not a place. Never was. This could be Asgard. Asgard is where our people stand. Even now, right now, those people need your help.
I'm not as strong as you.
No. You're stronger.
Tell me, brother, what were you the god of again?